What's up, guys? So in this video, what I want to go ahead and talk about today, or who I'm going to go ahead and talk about today, is a guy named Jeremy Miner with the NepQ Black Book. He's dominating social media ads, and he's putting out a lot of organic marketing content that's getting lots of views. So go ahead and dive into his stuff here. This is his website primarily. It's a 7th level HQ, and it's just his model of selling. So basically, as we'll kind of get into later, Jeremy has a background in sales and now is actually teaching his style of sales. I want to go ahead and do some quick pros and cons. So some pros is that he has a very large organic following, which I think is cool. If you can have somebody at that high level, clearly they know what they're doing in some capacity. Two, he kind of has his own unique twist on handling common objections, and he focuses largely on body language and tonality. Some cons, though, is some might view the methods as kind of cheesy or high pressure. And honestly, with sales, it doesn't matter if you have the best word tracks in the world. It doesn't matter if you have the best answers, the most logic in the world. If you don't have the energy, the ability to raise your voice and lower your voice, and obviously I kind of suck at it, or it's just kind of awkward doing it in video here. But if you don't have the ability to portray different levels of energy, it doesn't matter what word tracks you have. It doesn't matter what you say. It's always how you say it, right? Moving over to his Instagram here we see 697,000 followers, over 3,400 posts, and this is his reels, okay? So clearly he's getting like 5-figure views. This one, 100,000 views, getting lots of views per reel. So that leads me to believe that this number right here is not fake. Usually if this number is really, really high and all these numbers are really, really low, you're probably dealing with a fake guru. And I know that that has different definitions for different people, but I'll put that to the side for now. This is the NepQ Black Book. This is basically what you'll see when you get pushed through his ads. I do think, based on what we'll see here in a second, that this is slightly ironic. But as you can see here, it starts off at $27, and you can basically bet your bottom dollar that that's just the introductory amount. You're gonna have to pay way more than that for upsells down the road. If you go over to his YouTube channel, we see here 183,000 subscribers. So again, that kind of does give credence to this number. Not all platforms are going to be identical, but the fact that he's definitely well into the 6 figures here says a lot. He also has 2,000 videos, and he provides just tons and tons of content. And again, with those subscribers, you want to look at view counts, and his view counts are well within the realm of the numbers you'd expect to see for views. If you go over to Social Blade, you can kind of see that again, where he's had 945,000 views over the last 30 days, which is great to see. You can kind of see it here. Now, this is when we start kind of getting into other people's opinions and experiences, because up until this point, looking at his marketing, looking at the value he's provided, you'd think he's like a really good sales guy. And if it's one thing that I will agree with at the end of the day, it's that he's an extremely good salesman. So if we go over here, this is the most recent thread you can find on Reddit. So it's thoughts on Jeremy Miner, and he is basically comparing him between like Jordan Belfort or Grant Cardone. And this guy likes it because he just resonates with him more from a sales coach perspective. And so this person here actually said that he basically ripped his style from somebody, and then I think it was this Michael Oliver, Natural Selling. And then, just kind of like explaining how this, Jeremy basically turned Michael's theories into a way to manipulate. He seems to be 100% tactics and memorization rather than based in principles, which I think there's something to be said about memorizing word tracks versus, having principles and things like that. And then, let's see, I keep seeing the material was stolen, and I asked my rep about it, and the NepQ course is copyrighted by them, so I don't know. It's not like that difficult, but this person kind of has a good point. These types of industries are built on stolen crap. Systems and processes are learned, and people realize they can make way more teaching it. I know another sales coach that's not nearly as big as Miner. He spends $150,000 a month on ads and does around $800,000 a month in revenue. It's pretty much the same process too. So with that, let's see. Yes, there was this comment right here about digital altitude and the FTC. So I went ahead and I looked that up for us here today. And you can, it's a whole long article. But basically, I just want to focus on the Jeremy Miner part of it. So he was their VP of sales, I think is what they said. So basically, according to the FTC's evidence, all digital altitudes coaches did was convince people to hand over money. So digital altitudes coaches were just salespeople. Now, broadly speaking, if you're going to if you're looking at any digital marketing program, any make money online type of program, and you're told, hey, you're going to hop on the phone with a coach, just be prepared. You're hopping on a phone with a sales guy at the end of the day. Unless it's like the owner of the program or somebody that has verified success with whatever it is that they're about to sell, just know coach just means salesperson. So this is kind of what they talk about here. The coaches don't provide any business training. Instead, their job is to just convert customers into profits by way of a lengthy and deceptive sales pitch in which they pose as a coach and develop an emotional connection with the consumer. So this is something you see a lot in the guru space. And it's kind of sad that it's unfortunately the way most of this goes. And this stuff in green, by the way, this is like the FTC. This is the guy writing the article, just to make that clear. So question, what do you mean by coaches? Answer, coaches, we had S1s, which sold the $2,000 product, and then we had S2s, which sold the $10,000, $20,000, and $30,000 products. There, at our height, they come and go because salespeople come and go. So the FTC claimed to obtain actual sales scripts. It shows that the digital altitude so-called coaches were merely salespeople using the ploy of business coaching to ensnare consumers in an elaborate sales pitch. On May 5th, 2016, coach's sales call with Michael Force and digital altitude salespeople. Then digital altitude vice president of sales, Jeremy Miner, explicitly articulates this sales strategy. First, Miner explains that digital altitude's Aspire steps were designed to build consumers' emotional investment in the coach and the digital altitude community. The reason why the coach has a daily call with them on Skype from step 1 all the way to step 21 is to build that relationship with that person. And that's why I try to tell everyone to do those on Skype so they can see you on video, because if they can see you on video instead of you talking to them on the phone, they start to look at you as like, wow, this is a real person. Miner goes on to explain that this method with salespeople making approximately 7 to 10 daily calls to consumers results in the highest sales figures. Basically, it converts the highest. We've tried to shorten it to 3 or 4 days. It doesn't convert half as much, right? At 7 to 10 days of daily appointments is kind of the sweet spot. After those 7 to 10 daily calls, Miner explains that the salesperson should appeal to the consumer's fear of loss to motivate them into buying into the highest membership levels. The goal is to motivate consumers to pay for a higher level membership so that they don't pass up all their commissions to their sponsor from the leads that they are paying for, right? So it's all a fear of loss. Let's see. It appears that at no time during the training call was actual value provided by Digital Altitude's products cited as a reason to convince people to hand over money. Miner explains that most consumers are not ready to pay right away, but most people, as you know, are not, right? 90% of them aren't. So we have to build that trust with them. We have to get them emotionally involved. And it's not just emotionally involved with us, it's emotionally involved with the entire community. So they would, when they wake up every day, it's like them going to their job. It's who that person is. So they become emotionally attached. If you're trying to sell them a $27,000, or if you're trying to sell them $27,000 worth of products 2 days after they come in, they don't have that with the community. They look at the community as something from the outside, but you go through daily training calls with the S1 and S2 for 2 to 3 weeks, digital altitude is who they are as a person. If you want like 50, 60, 70% conversions at Ascend and 40% from Rise to Peak, you're not going to do that pitching them 2 days later. There's no trust there. So basically you're getting like psychologically persuaded. And then so the FTC concludes the defendants are not concerned with providing a business education to consumers. They were concerned with how to extract the most money from consumers. Once the sales agent, coach, has done the hard sales pitch, they should hound consumers on a daily basis to ensure that they obtain the money to purchase Rise. None of the scripts the FTC has reviewed thus far contains actual business coaching or training. And then this guy has, his opinionated statement of, and if Jeremy Miner's crafted slimy sales coaching wasn't enough to leave you feeling like you needed a shower, here's some examples of the financial and emotional toll the coaches wrought on the general public. See, I got signed up and then was pressured into investing huge amounts of money. The coaches didn't leave me alone and didn't take no for an answer. They took advantage of me. I've not made a single penny. Currently owe tens of thousands in credit card debt. What you go through in the 18 Aspire steps in the brainwashing by these coaches is insane. So since the FTC made a case against them, they've basically received hundreds of new complaints from consumers who have been seriously harmed both financially and emotionally by Digital Altitude's fraud. Okay, so that's enough of this. If you guys want to go through like the actual whole thing with this company, I welcome as much research as you guys possibly want to do. I'm never going to tell you to not do research. If we go over here, there's nothing on Trustpilot for Jeremy Miner. So what I wanted to go ahead and kind of do now is just, okay, what's my opinion about everything after seeing what we all saw? I kind of have a different type of approach to this, which is clearly Jeremy got caught up in basically unethical sales. Okay. However, that was back in like 2016. We're now into 2024. It's 8 years later. Me personally, I didn't really start seeing Jeremy Miner promote stuff, at least in ad form, like through the algorithm, until probably 6 months ago, maybe. So like the beginning of 2024. I say that in that giving the benefit of the doubt to Jeremy, maybe, just maybe, he's a changed man. I can't say that for sure because, and I'm sure you as somebody watching this video, in your research that you've done so far, you're probably thinking, well, it looks like he's saying the same types of stuff that he was probably saying back then. And I would say I almost kind of agree with that to some extent. So it makes it a hard decision. When you also think of people, though, like Jordan Belfort, okay? Jordan Belfort used to do the whole boiler room, stockbrokers and all this stuff. He got caught, went to prison for a little bit, got out, and I think he's been doing everything above the board since then because he's afraid to go back, which is totally understandable, and I really respect him for it. So what Jordan did in the past is not who he is today, and he just teaches sales. He doesn't sell people unethically and lie to them and stuff like that, but he sells them on sales training. So in a similar way, even though Jeremy was associated with a bad product in the past, it looks like today that Jeremy is just selling sales training, which is almost as direct a product as you can get. And there's no, from what I've seen, there's no crazy income claims. It's just, hey, I'm a successful sales guy. I have sales training. You can buy my sales training, and then you can potentially become a successful salesperson if you implement it. So it's definitely a fine line. I would just have to say go with your gut. If your gut says, hey, you can trust them, go for it. If your gut says, yeah, this history is a bit too much for me, then I would say I respect your decision. So that said, what I want to show you guys real quick is actually what I do. Because me personally, outside of like car sales, just because I'm a car nut, I'm not really a big fan of like high ticket sales whatsoever. High ticket sales or high pressure sales. Sorry. High pressure sales is just something that I personally totally despise. If people need to think about their decisions, great. Like, I'm not going to push anybody into anything. But this is what I do, which is what I found success with over time as kind of like a side hustle. So you have this website right here. This is my website that I built 5 years ago. It's called Noblesville Tree Services. And basically what happens is I don't own a tree company, but I own this website. In fact, I also own the #1 spot on Google search results for this niche and for this city that I used to live in back in the day. So what happens is somebody calls my website and they need a tree removed. That then gets forwarded on to a contractor, and the contractor takes the job, gets the job done, gets paid, then I get paid. Usually these sites are anywhere between $500 a month to like $2,000 a month. Frankly, it just depends on what niche and, the volume of all the services and stuff like that. But this has been a nice like side hustle, kind of mostly passive income. Like, I haven't had to touch this site in 5 years. I've had other sites where I've had to touch more frequently. So I would say mostly passive. Nothing's truly 100% passive anymore, except for probably stocks, and like 401ks, IRAs, stuff like that. But that said, this is kind of what I do. I've had a, good amount of luck with it. If you're interested in it, then I would say check out this link right here. I've got a private invite for you down in the description below. And this question or this page has every answer to every question you could possibly have, even down to the price, because we are upfront about the price. We're not going to put you on a high pressure phone call or anything like that. We don't even take your email. It's pretty cool. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and check it out. If not, I hope you found this video helpful in the slightest, and at least gives you like more eye-opening to Jeremy Miner and what he has going on. If you did appreciate this video, go ahead and give me a like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.